Hi ladies and gentlemen, today that I'm recording this is February 12th, 2017. That's almost a tongue twister. Wow, as usual, a lot of things going on, but I want to comment on a number of them if I can. Number one, George Stephanopoulos' interview with the president's advisor, one of his advisors, Stephen Miller. The constant accusations by the media, Stephanopoulos being a perfect example of this, of demanding evidence that there was voter fraud. And this is what I would like to say to the MSM and Stephanopoulos in particular, you slimy, slimy turds, which you are. I don't usually resort to name calling because it's kind of wrong to do, but this just fits. You demand evidence, but you refuse to back up your own claims with evidence. You do not function as a constitutionally protected occupation in the interests of the American people, but only of the elite. Or you would be out there investigating the voter fraud. You would be out there investigating the pedophilia and exposing it. You would be out there investigating all of this different corruption, like what's really happening out west with the land issues. But no, you don't. All you do is you follow a script that's handed to you by the CIA and the deep state. That's all you do. So you are illegitimate out the gates, and we see you for what you are. You're nothing but talking heads, literally. You must have chips in your head that they feed you the information to say that you claim Putin does to Trump and his supporters. It's disgusting what you are. Disgusting. And we see you for what you are. Anybody that opens their eyes, even the least little bit. It's time for you to do investigative reporting, to bring these things out, to protect the American people, and to provide the evidence that you so profusely refuse to give us for your position, which is nothing more than the position of the deep state. Okay, I'm going to move on to this. I'm back to Roger Stone's book again. Now, a lot of this I already knew about, and you know, I've mentioned it to some extent from time to time, but today I want to make an absolutely important point. I think it's been done. I don't think I'm going to say anything new here that hasn't already been said, but I want to go on the record with this because, again, I was a military police officer off and on for 28 years, a police officer. I've been involved in security operations, intelligence operations, so I'm more than willing and able to comment on this aspect of what happened just prior to the election. On page 260 of Roger Stone's book, and I'm going to read it to you here, he makes a very important statement, okay? And I think people catch it, but I'm going to emphasize it a little bit. Quote, the move by the well, let me give you the background information, okay? The NYPD had discovered Wingler's laptop, and they were going to release the information. You may know about that. And yes, it involves pedophilia, it involves child pornography, and a lot more. Okay, Comey had come out in July and stated that they weren't going to prosecute Clinton. And then this information on the Wiener laptop came out, and there were a group of FBI in conjunction with the NYPD that wanted to bring this to the surface, but it was being suppressed at the DOJ and the FBI. So the NYPD said, okay, Comey, if you're not going to go with this, we'll bring it out, and we'll just go ahead and smash all the corruption and the criminality that you are an accessory to, possibly. Certainly you're trying to cover it up. Accessory after the fact, if not complicit in the actual crimes. I'm not accusing you of that, Comey, but it's obvious that something wrong was going on here. So, when that happened, you know, the Clinton administration or the Clinton campaign said, oh, foul, foul, you know, Comey did this to help Trump. That's to take us all off the issue that really happened. This is why I'm really wondering why Trump kept Comey unless he's going to use this against him. And I certainly would. The crook covering for Clintons and HSBC and all the other crap he's done. The FBI director. Wow. But, you know, with my experience with the FBI, it doesn't surprise me a bit, because all they are is a Stasi police organization. They aren't doing anything to protect the Constitution. Just go after people that are trying to declare their own constitutional rights and live by them. Okay, well, you know where I stand on it. I guess I am a little hot today. Let me quote this to you. So you got the picture, right? The NYPD was saying, we're going to bring this stuff out with the help of some good FBI agents in New York. Comey didn't want to be caught covering up corruption, so he went ahead and made this announcement. In other words, it wasn't to help Trump, it was to help Clinton not to have this stuff exposed, not, you know, to protect the deep state and the pedophiles in the government. That's what that was about. So he put a stall on it, okay? And this is what happened. Quote, "The move by the FBI in D.C. to shut down the NYPD investigation set the stage for Comey to declare in a letter to Congress November 6th that the newly discovered emails did not change the FBI's original conclusion not to refer criminal charges." WND, WorldNet Daily, also confirmed with the NYPD that the FBI in Washington had blocked the NYPD from making any arrests in the Wiener sexting case involving a 15-year-old girl. Do you see what happened here? The FBI went and confiscated the laptop and the information. Fortunately, NYPD made copies of it, but that causes some legal problems, at least I think. But do you see what really happened here? They pretended to do the investigation to get the NYPD to cooperate with the Department of Justice that had said and continued to say, you expose this and we will come after your officers that were involved in that abusive force on Eric Garner, I think was his name. Which I said, leave that alone. I'm sorry, those officers just have to take the dump. You need to go after these criminals in government. Embarrass the government. So do you see what I'm saying here? Comey's not been a good guy here at all. Right now, Trump is going after the pedophiles and he's working up the line. And I am certain that he is going to get the top dogs. And they're going to be politicians, ecclesiastical leaders, corporate leaders, DynCorp. I mean, it just goes, it's all through our society and it's disgusting. Absolutely horrid. I hope I covered that well enough. I'm not sure that I did, but I think I got to the main points. Now I want to go into something else. And no, I'm not going to show you the evidence here because there are dead men's triggers on this, okay? And they're to several people that I know, okay? And I'm going to cover it quickly because I know I'm running out of time. This pedophilia thing is a major problem. I first was exposed to that, and I'm just going to admit it here, just so you know why I became so interested in it. I was, abused by a government worker when I was about 11 years old, okay? And I won't go into the details about it, but it was a pedophilic situation. And it was only because of a state senator who got involved in it that got me out of the situation, okay? Just telling you the way it is. All right. In 1991, or thereabouts, actually it was prior to that, it was several years before that, I went into a Mormon church, former general authority, who wanted to admit to me what the church had been doing to me, the LDS Church. And I'm not going to go into all the particulars, but basically I recorded him without him realizing I did it. And after certain things happened over the course of some years where I was still a target of these people, I finally went to the FBI and gave them the tape. And the agent's name was Johnny Turner. Okay? Now this is after I'd worked with the FBI on other things when I was in the Army and as a police officer, so I knew the problems with them. And I said to Agent Johnny Turner, who was a great man, by the way, I'm going to give him a lot of credit. I told him, I said, well, because he was saying, well, we're the FBI, we'll make sure it happens. I said, no, I know what this is like. This is a political thing, and this is your people in D.C. are going to end up trying to cover this up. After he listened to the tape, he put the earphones on. He said, that's the best evidence of a civil rights violation I have ever seen, that the LDS Church's security had had done to me, who a lot of these people are former FBI agents, CIA, Secret Service, etc. Okay, well, guess what happened to the general authority? His name was George P. Lee. After this was given to the FBI, and I did George P. Lee a disservice here, and I mentioned it in my book. They accused him of the same pedophilia that they engage in. Some of the top leaders in the church and throughout. Why do I say that? 1991, Elder Pace reveals it in a memo to the first presidency. It's squashed, and he's sent off on a mission somewhere. I got involved in the Franklin cover-up with Senator DeCamp. I don't know if he'll remember when he called me and he asked me to send him some information on a photo lineup that had specific church members in the photo lineup. Church members, church leaders. In addition, there was Murray Police Department evidence back when I was on Murray Police, and I was told this by the investigators that they had a certain, I'm not going to say it here, okay? It's important that I can't say it here. But it was a major general authority of the LDS Church at that time who was caught on video camera soliciting minors in a public bathroom. The tape, the videotape, was sent and kept in the evidence locker at Salt Lake City Police Department and disappeared. How do I know that? Because I knew the evidence custodian, and I'm not going to say his name here. The bad guys will be able to put all this together. But mind you, you evil ones, the dead man's trigger is out there, okay? Further, this evidence on the Franklin cover-up thing also brought in, of course, a lot of political figures that we know as household names today. So there it is. Yes, I do have the evidence. I was even privy to a court document that came in from California that was going to charge, the state was charging or involved in at least a discovery at that point of a leading church official in the LDS Church. I mean a leading one who had been accused of abusing his granddaughter. That I still have that court document. Okay, why do I mention that? Because this pedophilia network indeed takes in politics, corporations, ecclesiastical organizations. Look at the Catholic Church in this, and this Poppy Pope. Disgusting individual, as are many, I'm not saying all of them, leaders of the Mormon Church, but they all know that they can't expose this because it's dangerous. And I'm certain that this exists in evangelicals, born agains all over. It's permeated throughout our entire culture. And it's something that the MSM could investigate and find out, but they won't. So don't you, Stephanopoulos, and all the rest of you phonies, demand evidence when you yourselves refuse to supply it. By design, because you are covering it up. You are co-conspirators, co-accomplices, all of that. And the FBI and the DOJ are just as guilty as the MSM and the people that are committing these hideous, heinous crimes. TMI. God help us out here.